In the last lectures, we learned how to pass and extract dynamic route parameters. Now we also see that this somehow leads to issues with our new post route. The reason for this can be seen if we have a look at the block container. There, where we set up our routes, we have the new post route, which loads the new post component, and that flexible ID route. Now, I said that I would move it to the end so that it doesn't capture this route here, because this flexible ID part here would of course also interpret new post as an ID. Now, it doesn't capture this route, but remember that all routes here are rendered if they match the path. This of course is a problem here, because our flexible part here then is always rendered when new post is rendered. Now we could of course fix this by naming this posts/id and also fixing this here in our link to posts/id. If we do that, now you see we only load the new post form, and if I click on a single post, we are at /posts1 and therefore only see a single post. Definitely viable. But sometimes you simply have to use a given URL because your URLs would otherwise look, well, not the way you want them to look in the end. So therefore maybe we have to use that setup. We can still tell React Router to load only one of all these routes at a time by wrapping our route config here with another component provided by the React Router DOM package, the switch component. Switch tells the React Router, hey, please only load one of the routes, the first one actually you find that matches, from a given set of routes. So now we can wrap our three routes with switch, and the first route that matches a given path will be loaded, and thereafter it will just stop analyzing the routes. It won't render any other route. With this in place, now you will see that if I go back to home and click on a single post, we load that post. If I click on new post, we only load that form and no longer see that single post. We also now see that if I change the order and put ID first, that we can never reach new post in this scenario. And of course we get an error because new post is now treated as the ID and obviously an invalid ID for our backend. So now we see that it does stop after finding the first fitting route, which is of course this one with the flexible parameter, and therefore new post never gets rendered. So the order is important, especially when using switch of course. Switch, however, is important if you want to ensure that only one route gets loaded. And of course you can also mix it. You can put one route outside of switch, so this will always get analyzed at least and potentially also rendered if it fits. And then one of the following, and then maybe add one more thereafter. So you can really mix and match this as you want. That's the cool thing about the router, it's really flexible. So this is one potential setup where we can use the URLs we want to use and still ensure that we only load one route at a time.